Have you ever felt like you're drowning in a sea of endless notifications, breaking news alerts, and mounting responsibilities? That moment when your mind races from one worry to the next, never settling, never finding solid ground. The constant background hum of anxiety that follows you from morning alarm to midnight scrolling. What if I told you that finding peace isn't about escaping this chaos, but about transforming your relationship with it? We live in perhaps the most overstimulated era in human history. The average person today processes more information in a single day than someone in the 1800s might have encountered in their entire lifetime. Our attention is fragmented, pulled in countless directions by devices engineered to capture and monetize every second of our awareness. The chaos isn't just external. It is seeped into our internal landscape, creating a psychological prison where true peace seems increasingly unattainable. Yet throughout human history, even in times of war, plague, and profound uncertainty, individuals have discovered pathways to inner peace that transcend their circumstances. Today, we'll explore how ancient wisdom and modern psychology converge to offer us a map to the labyrinth of our chaotic world. Not by escaping reality, but by engaging with it more skillfully. Peace is not the absence of chaos. Peace is a capacity to rest in the center of the storm. This distinction is crucial. If we believe peace requires perfect circumstances, we will forever remain at hostage. But when we understand that genuine peace emerges from within, from how we relate to chaos rather than from an absence, we discover freedom that circumstances cannot touch. The chaos of our modern world manifests in multiple dimensions. There's the information chaos, the endless stream of news, opinions, and entertainment vying for our attention. There's social chaos, the dissolving of traditional communities and the rise of polarization. There's existential chaos, climate change, pandemic threats, economic uncertainty. And perhaps most significantly, there's internal chaos, the scattered thoughts, conflicting desires, and unprocessed emotions that create the silent scream of anxiety many of us carry within. This multidimensional chaos creates what psychologists call cognitive load, the invisible weight that taxes our mental resources until even simple decisions become exhausting. When our cognitive load exceeds our capacity, we experience that familiar sense of overwhelm, that feeling of being constantly behind, constantly inadequate, constantly searching for a peace that seems perpetually out of reach. Carl Jung, whose depth psychology offers profound insights into the human condition, would recognize this modern ailment. Jung understood that true peace requires what he called individuation, the process of integrating the fragmented aspect of ourselves into a coherent whole. Your vision will become clear, Jung wrote, only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. This inward journey represents a radical departure from our culture's external focus. We're conditioned to believe that peace comes from achieving certain milestones, financial security, professional recognition, the perfect relationship. But Jung's wisdom suggests something different, that peace emerges not from perfecting our circumstances, but from reconciling the divisions within ourselves. The first division that prevents inner peace is a gap between our conscious and unconscious minds. How often have you noticed yourself acting in ways that contradict your stated values? Perhaps you value health, but consistently sacrifice sleep. You value presence, but habitually check your phone during conversations. You value calm, but repeatedly expose yourself to triggering content online. These contradictions create an internal dissonance, a perpetual conflict between different aspects of yourself. Jung called the disowned parts of ourselves the shadow, those aspects we reject, deny, or repress. Until you make the unconscious conscious, he warned, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. When we project responsibility for our inner turmoil onto external chaos, we surrender our power to find peace. We become victims of circumstances rather than creators of our experience. The shadow doesn't disappear when ignored. It manifests in projection, impulsive behavior, and mysterious emotional reactions that seem to arise from nowhere. Each unacknowledged fear, each repressed desire, becomes another source of internal chaos, another barrier to peace. Recognizing and integrating these shadow elements isn't comfortable, but it's necessary. Peace requires wholeness. Wholeness requires acknowledgement of all that we are. Tell me in the comments, What part of yourself have you been trying to reject or change that might actually need acceptance instead? Ancient Stoic philosophy offers another powerful lens for finding peace amid chaos. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of Rome's greatest philosophers, taught a principle that remains revolutionary. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. The Stoics recognize that much of our suffering comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled, while neglecting what genuinely lies within our domain, what lies within our control. According to the Stoics, only our judgments, intentions, and actions, everything else, other people's behavior, external events, much of our health, the economy, the weather, falls outside our control. This distinction sounds simple but requires profound wisdom to apply. How much mental energy do you expend worrying about circumstances you cannot change? How often do you neglect your sphere of influence while fretting about matters beyond your reach? The psychological freedom that comes from the Stoic insight is immense. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we reclaim the energy previously wasted on futile resistance. We discover what Buddhists call the second arrow. The first arrow is the inevitable pain of living, disappointments, losses, challenges. The second arrow is our reaction to that pain, our narrative about why it shouldn't be happening, how unfair it is, how it proves something negative about life or ourselves. We cannot always avoid the first arrow, but the second arrow is self-inflicted. Peace comes not from avoiding all pain, but from ceasing to multiply that pain through resistance. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. As the saying goes, this isn't spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. It's a clear-eyed recognition of where our true power lies. The harmonious fusion of acceptance and action creates the foundation for genuine peace. We accept what is beyond our control while acting decisively within our sphere of influence. This balance prevents both the frustration of trying to change the unchangeable and the resignation of surrendering personal agency. It's a middle path, neither passive submission nor futile struggle, but wise engagement with life as it unfolds. But how do we practically apply these philosophical insights in daily life? How do we translate ancient wisdom into modern practice? Let's explore several concrete pathways to peace amid chaos. The first pathway involves creating intentional boundaries around information consumption. The human brain evolved in an information-scarce environment. Our ancestors didn't have to decide whether to check the news. There was no news to check. Now we face a fundamentally different reality. Infinite information available at all times. Without conscious boundaries, our attentional resources become depleted, leaving us mentally fragmented and emotionally drained. Consider implementing what I call information fasting. Designated periods when you completely disconnect from news, social media, and non-essential information. These might be short daily periods, a weekly digital Sabbath, or occasional longer retreats. During these fasts, notice the withdrawal symptoms, the itchy feeling of needing check, the fear of missing out. These uncomfortable sensations reveal our addiction to stimulation and the extent to which external chaos has colonized our internal landscape. The second pathway to peace involves cultivating what psychologists call interoceptive awareness, the ability to sense and interpret signals from your body. Chaos often manifests physically before we consciously recognize it. Tension in the shoulders, shallow breathing, a knot in the stomach. By developing a more sensitive relationship with these bodily cues, we gain early warning signals that help us intervene before stress escalates. Simple practices like body scanning, systematically bringing attention to different regions of the body, create the foundation for this awareness. With practice, you might notice that certain thoughts create immediate physical tension,